All right, Monday, May 11th, 2026, in the Chickasaw County Courthouse in the boardroom. I will call the meeting to convene. Roll call, all members are present, along with Board Secretary Sheila Shackleton. Is there a motion to approve today's agenda with the additional one that was added a little bit after Friday afternoon? That was on the agenda, but we put it back on. It was the Cassia report. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Travis, second by Steve to approve the agenda for today. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion is carried. Approve the minutes from last Monday, May 4th.
So,
Is there a second? Motion by Scott, second by Travis to approve the May 4th board minutes. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion is carried. Discuss and approve and authorize chair signature on the fiscal year 26-27 library contract. It looks like all 6 city libraries have signed off on what we discussed in budget work session. You guys saw a copy of it. Are you guys all in favor of, is there a motion to approve the library contract for fiscal year 26-27?
so move the chair signature.
Is there a second?
Second.
Isaac. Motion by Scott, second by Isaac to approve and authorize chair signature on the fiscal 26-27 library contract for the libraries in Chickasaw County. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion is carried. We'll go back up to that little one that says discuss veteran service administrators fiscal year 26-27. This was kind of brought up last week.
So what happened is, I had sent out a sheet asking all the department heads to let me know what they decided to pay their people because, the board had suggested 4% or $1.50.
Yep.
And then you guys had looked at the administrator's wages, and you guys had said that you wanted it at 4%. That happened prior, and then their chair came back and asked if they could go the $1.50 instead of 4%.
Yep, so that letter we sent out to department heads was either 4% or $1.50. Remember we had some discussion before that about, I think it was 11-12% pay increase, and we had discussion in the board meeting at 4%. They're just confirming now, are we still at that 4%?
Well, you guys actually did a motion for the 4%.
Yeah, we did.
But they're just wondering if they can get the $1.50.
Any other discussion on it? So 93 cents is the 4%. So we're at 93 cents, 4%, or the $1.50 for a flat rate. Any other discussion on it? But like Sheila said, there's a motion that we said 4% like a month and a half ago. Any new direction? If not, I will say that is checked out. So we'll stand with the old motion that was there a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Time 5, any public comment?
I didn't have anything written, but I would like to say something. The deputy in my office had wanted me to let you guys know that June 9th is going to be the first canvas at 10 a.m.
Which is a Tuesday, yeah. Will there be a second one or is that the final one?
Well, she has, that the abstract and canvas are due on the 15th. So, but I just have the one canvas for you guys right now.
Perfect. We'll put that in our schedule.
Okay, thank you.
When's the primary, just so,
It's June 2nd,
and when is voting again?
this week or Wednesday.
Still calling?
All right. Any other public comment from board members? Good. Lisa's here. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning.
Discuss Board of Health request to set up a restricted account for donations to be used at the discretion of the public health director. So, little background on this. About a week and a half ago, Lisa called me. She got a check from a citizen of Chickasaw County for $1,000, wondering what she should do with it. It was made out to Chickasaw County Public Health.
Yep.
If she would have turned it in, it would have went into the general fund. But I think the Board of Health met Friday, and you guys have an option that we can do, kind of like what we do with the EMS. And explain a little bit, Lisa, what your board wishes.
Yep, so what they voted to request that the supervisors direct the auditor to set up a restricted account for donations. And this would be for donations that would be used for special projects at the discretion of the public health director for things that would be beyond the general budget. And then one member requested that it say donations public health with Department 23, I think is the department. And they were wondering if we could get interest on the account.
Yeah, fair enough.
What's the last thing you said? Oh, wow.
Interest on the account.
Oh, interest, yeah, okay.
So, like I said before, we've done this for like Bypass Basin has its own, EMS donation has their own, K9 has their own, the Sheriff Dare account. This is not something new. It's just a little bit more work for the auditor and the accountants to set up a new fund, a new account. You guys are willing to do that?
I'm in favor of it. And thank the citizen for that generous donation. That was really nice.
The other thing is you still have to have the expense side.
Right.
So you couldn't spend it this fiscal year because we didn't make it in the budget amendment. So we would have to do a budget amendment sometime in July or August, September.
Okay.
So then you can spend down that $1,000. Or if it adds more, Joel's sometimes budgets expenditure side a little bit more. If you don't have the money in there, you can't spend it. But that's what, so yeah, if you put it in this restricted fund, you can't spend it until the budget amendment.
Okay.
Dave, you had a question?
Yeah, no, I can jump in. Sorry, give some more color to it. So Jake called me about a week and a half ago when this first came up, and I talked to Lisa a couple of times last week before her meeting. I talked to Sheila on Thursday. So I think it's something that we can do by code. I pulled up the resolution we did for the EMS in 2024 and just follow that. I think it should be a restricted fund. I think it also protects, like I talked to Lisa about last week, in future budgeting years, if budget crunches continue, the state continues to do what we think they're gonna do. I don't wanna get in a situation where someone leaves in their will a large request to public health, and then someone, maybe not you five, but someone sitting here a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now says, well, hey, you have X amount of money in your restricted account. Why aren't you funding public health out of that instead of using the taxpayer money? So I just want to make sure we're protecting both you guys from your autonomy and your structure, and also Lisa's board, from not saying, hey, we have a large amount of our fund there, why are we spending that instead of taxpayer money? And it's designed for special projects above and beyond what the taxpayers contribute to. And I think that's the language that I used, thankfully, when I did this in 2024 for EMS, so we'll mirror that. So if that's something you want to do, I would just have you do a motion directing me to set up a resolution for next Monday to set a restricted account.
I think in the EMS one though, Joel has a project in mind. He still has to get his board approval.
So the EMS one says, expenditures from the restricted account shall only be made upon the recommendation of the director of the EMS department with the approval of board supervisors. So, my opinion, you guys give me direction, but my recommendation would be that we change that, because that's in your department. That it would be only upon the recommendation of the Director of Public Health with the approval of the Board of Health themselves.
I agree.
Yep.
If that's okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Is there a motion to direct county attorney to prepare, is that a resolution, Dave?
Yeah, just be a resolution, set up motion to the account.
I'll move. Second.
Motion by Steve, second by Isaac, to have the county attorney's office draft a resolution for a restricted account for donations to be used in the public health department. We'll vote on it next week though, once we see the final document. Any discussion? And Sheila will have to help too, getting the numbers and the.
Right.
I guess we never talked to Matt Eisbrand yet either, if this is gonna make more work for him to put it into a restricted fund with interest bearing, but I think the other ones are all interest bearing, he just breaks it down,
Right.
the money market account, or wherever he has the investment at.
We don't have the account number in the EMS one. I mean, I can put it in the resolution, but my fear is 3 years from now, you consolidate your accounts. That changes, maybe it'll never change.
Yeah, don't put the.
Don't put the account number in there?
No.
Okay, it's up to you.
Well, our private auditor kind of thinks we have too many funds the way it is, but
I can leave it out there.
I'm
Scratch it
fine
off.
with doing it because I can totally understand.
Okay. I'll leave the account number off.
All right, any more discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye. Aye, anybody opposed, motion is carried. Thanks, Tracy.
Thank you, I appreciate your time.
Trish, was anybody else coming or just you?
No, just me,
All right.
Teddy Martin's had to be out,
All right, so
so.
we got 10, 11, meet with Northeast Iowa Community Action. Tricia Wilkins, discuss the Chickasaw County General Relief Ordinance and Resolution.
Okay. Yes, Martin was planning on joining me, but he's had to be out for the last little bit. Just me today.
All right.
I'm first gonna just give you all some background data on the program. So page 1, and it's just a bar graph, we've got 2 different categories, the general relief assistance dollars by service type, and then on the bottom, it's gonna be the household served. So the first page, yes, absolutely, no, I should have.
That's okay.
And so this one is gonna be for last fiscal year, so it's July of 24 through June of 2025. And then the second page is this past year, so starting July of 25 until present, or as close as what we could get with our data. So I wanted to just give you some background information on the types of services and the amount of services that were provided. So when we look at last year, you can see that there was rent and utilities, and then a total of 5 households served. No funerals last year at all. When we look at this year, that's changed, and we're dealing with small numbers, but it's a pretty significant change considering the small numbers of assisted for households. So you can see, since July 1, we provided 3,000 in total for funeral assistance. We still have done rent and utilities, but at a much, much smaller level. And we've had a total of 3 households that were served for funerals, 3 for rent, 3 for utilities, so 9 total served already. There is never big numbers in general relief. There never has been. There's not in any of our other 3 counties because it's really difficult to qualify for. Income guidelines are 100% federal poverty limits. That's very low. And then the code does require limits on housing, like your housing, whatever. I'm looking for the word, but I can't say it. You guys know what I mean. And I think it allows flexibility for the counties to determine what that dollar amount is, but it does require it. So when you put all of those eligibility criteria together, it's difficult for families to qualify. Having said that, it is supposed to be the funding of last resort. The code does require that general assistance is sort of the bottom of what somebody really, really needs, really needy, really poor, And that's sort of the whole point of the county providing that. So I don't know what you guys were thinking, if you wanted to just talk through it or.
I think the concern was, Steve brought up in budget work session that he's been, I think, contacted by the funeral directors.
Yeah.
Yeah, what they explained to me is that they get 2 to 5 per year that don't meet the poverty level.
Yep.
So they end up having to eat the cost of the funeral.
Yeah. And like, so burials, and there's flexibility on these, you know, we could talk about that. Burial, funeral services are assisted up to 2,000, and then cremation services up to 1,000, and then there is 500 for cemetery expenses. So we know what funerals cost, and it's just a small fraction of that. So it's either the criteria on not paying enough, or those who don't qualify. So we had 5 denied apps, just to give you some additional data. So we've had, since July 1, so this would be this year, since July 1 of 2025, we had 5 denied apps who didn't qualify for whatever reason for general assistance, but they were all for a different reason. One was they didn't meet the 100%, 2, the home limit was too high, 3, the auto limit was too high. The 4th one was different funding sources that paid in front of it, again, since it has to be the funding of last resort. And then I think we had a Section 8 that where the code doesn't allow, so that would have been rent focused. So it's really hard to tie it to a specific reason.
Yeah, their concern was that when a deceased resident is brought into them, and when it all gets done, there's no money.
Yep.
And they end up having to eat the cost of the
Yep.
funeral, and he didn't really feel that was fair to him, that
Yeah.
he's gotta.
You guys don't even come close to using your budgeted amount.
Right, that was my concern, we had, I think, about 30,000 budget, and we
Yeah.
hadn't used any of it.
Yeah.
Is this what you see in other counties that you are the general relief for?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's very comparable. Now, like Fayette County, it just, we're higher in our level of assistance in every category, much higher than Chickasaw County. I mean, Chickasaw County historically, and I think it's because of population, I think it's because the low income population just doesn't have the numbers that McKee, Fayette, some of our other counties do. But like I talked about, the levels are all very, what we try to do is get these ordinances and resolutions very similar for all 4. So as far as what we're paying in other counties, I think it's either the same or even less. So I would assume the funeral businesses are feeling the same way in our other counties as well. But, I mean, we could certainly look at adjusting it. It's just if we start looking, if we were to raise, say, the income guidelines, we would get more eligible families, is gonna go quick. You could also look at keeping the eligibility the same and maybe increasing those funeral thresholds too.
That's what I was thinking, because on 8C, where it says cemetery expenses.
Yep.
I help with a Catholic cemetery over by North Washington, and they went up to $500 per lot now. I checked with the city of New Hampton, they're at $425. That's just to buy the lot. That doesn't even look into what it opens and closes that grave.
Sure.
And some of those are 800 to 1,000.
Yeah.
I think Scott looked at nationally. So, can we up due to cost of doing business?
Yep.
Can we up A, B, and C a little bit? But they still have to qualify with the guidelines
Yeah.
of the ordinance.
I mean, I think because there's nobody also, I thought about this a little bit, because there's nobody that says the county has to pay for rent or utilities. Also, it's a need. I mean, you can see we've helped. The other thing with our assistance, we can't pay for funerals. Like there's no the counties are the only funding sources that pay for funeral expenses. We do have crisis funds that have assisted with rent, utilities. So there is other funding. They're not what they're used to be, which is why you started to see some more in general relief, because we do not see the grants coming in, the funding coming in the way that we used to. But I also think a county can really look at, like, what is our main responsibility here? And if that is ensuring somebody has funeral expenses when they don't have any resources, that might be the bigger priority that you have too.
So we last redid all this, the ordinance and the resolution in May of 2022.
Yep.
How many funerals have we actually paid for since then? Do you know how many
Since
people have
22?
access, how many people have access to funeral benefits?
I mean, I don't have a list, but
None this fiscal year, right?
no, this fiscal year we
Yeah,
had
three.
three.
Okay.
Last fiscal year we had none.
And I think the year before that was either one or none.
Okay,
Yeah. it-
yeah,
So is the issue the reimbursement rate or is the issue the eligibility?
I think it's both. I think it's both.
I think it's both too.
So
What
this,
do we pay out for funeral expenses this year?
so,
Did they each reach that cap, that 2,000?
yeah, well, they always do
So it's
that.
3,000, I would assume one funeral, one cremation.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they break down, but yeah, it was 3,000 total for the 3 clients that we assisted.
Oh, so that
Well, it could be
was
1,000
three
too.
cremations.
Could be. And when does the funeral director know that it's gonna be under January leave? During or after?
I think Martin would be a better person to answer that question. I think we hear about it prior to anything occurring, because sometimes, depending upon what that household situation, the funeral director is actually filling out the application too.
Cause I would assume that I'm not in that business, and wanna be, but the cremation is probably cheaper, it could be 3 cremations.
Yep.
$1,000 each.
Yeah, and how those decisions are made.
No, I know,
I'm
I
not
get
sure.
it.
Yeah.
But correct me if I'm wrong, the concern I'm hearing is that it wasn't so much the reimbursement rate, it was the eligibility process. They're eating the whole thing for some of these people.
Because their level of, ordinance.
That's what I'm getting at, what needs to be addressed and what can be addressed or should be addressed.
When you heard about it, Steve, was it that they didn't qualify, or was it because our cap didn't cover enough?
Well, what they explained to me is that, the federal poverty level was so low.
They didn't
And
qualify.
if they were in a nursing home, the nursing home got reimbursed first and then they had no money left, but that was
They're kind of the
figured at
bottom of the.
poverty level. So, yeah, the concern is that the people just didn't qualify and then the funeral home was eating the expenses.
So I'd say both. The rates are low and it's hard to get the general relief funds.
I
But
mean,
that's common throughout probably the whole state.
yes, I think so, yeah. Our federal poverty guidelines for most of our programs, like when you talk about the field systems program, we talk about our own local crisis, are 200%. But we spend way more than $30,000 in a county because there's a lot more people that qualify for it. And funerals are expensive, so they eat up your budget really quickly too. But yeah, we can certainly, you can do whatever you want. It is your program, so.
I'm just gonna ask this question. I mean, the other 3 counties you serve, do they have more than one funeral or director? Probably, most likely.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, we wanna be fair to all of them, but. Any discussion board? You guys wanna look at this again? Do you recall why we changed it in 22?
That was me, and it
Yeah.
was just trying to get them all to be
Okay.
consistent. I don't think, honestly, yours kind of might have been my model that I started with. And it sort of the other ones were all over the board, and so I think I probably modeled the other counties after yours. So I don't think yours had a really significant change to it. And I did sort of look at the rest of the state and compared to the other generally. So I think they're very comparable. So it was more of a formatting thing.
Anybody else have any issues that, I think we've heard from Steve,
I just want to have one of my questions. If we make any change, how do we clarify where this money's going? I mean, I realize the funeral home has a lot of expense, but like Jake brought up, the cemeteries have a lot of expense. They're both eating those. I mean, if a check gets cut for the funeral expense from county assistance, who's getting what portions of that money?
Yeah, that is a really good question. I couldn't tell you with the funeral director, if we're directing the funeral director to be like, okay, this is what's going for this is what's going for that, or if we're working with a separate entity. I think it depends on how all of it's paid for initially by the funeral director.
Yeah.
And if it is always paid by the funeral director, do we have to break it all out? Do we just do a lump sum and say this is what funeral expenses are? I'm not sure.
Yeah, is the cemetery expenses being handed down or?
Yeah, that's a really good question. We would be going by vendor if it's, and we may say what the requirements are, but if one vendor is paying for all of those expenses, we're gonna be transacting with them.
Because if they're cremation, this would be a question for the funeral director, but if it's a cremation, what are they doing with those ashes afterwards? Is it going to a cemetery? Is it?
Yeah.
If they're not requesting any of the burial expense.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're gonna get different scenarios too, where family members are present, and then oftentimes in these situations, there's not, it's
Correct.
just them, they don't have family.
Yeah, it's pretty complicated, but I think we need to do some more research on this, but I think it's not really fair for the funeral home because they don't know when the deceased person comes in if they they don't have a choice whether they can take them or not.
Yeah, I think they're the only ones in the county that can take them, and then they have to figure out who's gonna pay for it.
Yeah, and so if you wanted to do some more talking,
Yeah, I think
we're happy
we
to
have a
come.
6-county meeting coming up, where we talk to 6
Sure.
county supervisors, throughout northeast Iowa.
Yep, and you can just let us know, we can prepare something and then send it to you for review. When we're ready, we can come back and talk to the full board again. You just let us know.
But then we'll have to do a new resolution where it changes anything.
Correct.
And amend the ordinance, because I did the ordinance, I referenced that.
Was there any other issues that you guys been hearing about, either 1 through 7? On the food, rent, mortgage, clothing, utilities, medical, transportation? I haven't. So I think we're just looking at the number 8 burials is what we've been hearing from
Sure.
Yes,
business.
that'd be good to talk at the 6-month meeting. See
Yeah.
what other counties are dealing with.
All right, if there's no other questions, thank you.
Yes, thank you, have a good year.
Yep. So the 10:30 schedule appointment,
That's it.
yeah, so
So anybody-
we've been trying to call Judy and Dale Little. If they're not a no-show this week, we'll have to try to reach out to them in a different way for next week. But it's the normal May cemetery appreciation. So I think we're just going to Ryan here. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning, everybody.
Discuss claim for Axon Enterprise Inc.
Yeah, so I just want to inform the board that I'm here, I'm gonna walk over to Shield's office, it's a claim I will be submitting to see claims next week perhaps. For Axon, this will take care of the remainder of our agreement with Axon. We were over a 4-year period when we first initially did this, we paid $40,000 up front last year. With the budget cut for next year, with the unknowns going forward and property tax reform that we're all aware of, that's going to move forward, my budget's pretty comfortable right now. There's been the talk of giving too much back. I'm still comfortable with the amount I'm going to be giving back. It's probably going to be well in excess of what I initially informed this board of back in January. So the claim's going to be $30,194.60, and it will take us through this agreement through the end of the year of 2030. So everything will be paid up front. We'll still have everything under warranty, include all of the certifications that go along with that, any battery supplies, whatever might be needed, certifications for instructors and so on. So just want to make sure the board's informed as well as the public of what's kind of transpiring.
30,190.
194.60.
Did that payment the schedule have any interest on it? Or was it
Not,
interest rate? If it's fair enough, you guys wanna make a motion on that for the purchase policy of $30,194.60?
Is that, sorry, calendar year 2030 or fiscal year?
calendar year 2030.
And it's paid through 2030 December.
Correct.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Motion by Isaac, second by Steve, to approve the claim Axon Enterprise Inc. for $30,194.60 per the purchase policy. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, anybody opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any department update? We just threw that on there since.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So hiring process is, it's going well. Took, got 11 applicants so far. Of the 11, 4 are certified. Taking applications and resumes through 4 p.m. today. I have started interviews already, just to get that process going. See what comes in yet today, maybe into this week, we'll do some more interviews. I'm hoping to make a conditional offer to someone pending the MMPI, which is a psychological testing that all police officers have to go through, as well as a pre-employment physical. And so hoping to do that yet this week if things go well, and then bring something back to this board on Monday the 18th for that. It's possible with some of the candidates that we have, if we to go with a certified route, paying off a contract here and there, see what that number is. But again, the budget's be able to support that and still be in excess of what I'm projecting to give back. So, but more to come on that. Hopefully, we'll be back on the agenda for Monday. The Sheriff's Office app rolled out on Friday. Got through that meeting. It's out there. There's still some kinks are working out as far as the integration with our Shieldware system, which is our records management system and our inmate update. So working through that this morning. So getting it out there, seeing how it does with the public and making tweaks as we go along. But hopefully it works out well for us. Working with Lisa on it. She's also an administrator to do push notifications for public health. I did integrate road closures, so links to the county website that Roman and his staff update, so people can go on there, see where road closures are, and that for their areas or bridges or whatever it might be. So trying to make this just more than the Sheriff's Office app, if we can, make it a county-wide app as well. So, yeah.
Sounds good.
How do we get it up? I was just gonna say, you're listening, so how do people get that? Is there a QR code or?
There is a QR code, so if you follow our
It'd be
Facebook
nice if
page,
someone would put that in a nice little article about what that can do
Yes.
for people on the QR code or something.
So you would-
Assess it.
I'm doing
and
that.
get that information.
I'm doing a
If
radio
we know
spot.
someone that could do that.
I'm doing a radio spot next, this week, so it'll be up here next week. But yes, I'm more than happy to give it to Bob and provide those stuff. It's on our Facebook page for now, but yes. Just push it out, links.
Since it has road closures and public
Yeah.
health and other things besides the sheriff's office.
Correct.
As a citizen, I would think you'd want
I'm
that.
doing, I'm downloading it now.
Oh, perfect.
Look at you, Bob. Yeah, it's available on Apple and Android services, so.
Any questions for Ryan? In the agenda, we're gonna be talking about the blue truck for Dave. You think Purple Wave's a free service? Is it easy to access?
It was very good for us. I mean, it didn't cost us anything. The buyer pays any fees associated with it. It worked well.
Okay.
Yeah, so got some contact information on there.
We'll have discussion when Dave gets up here in a little
Okay.
bit, but, this is the future when that Tahoe shows up. Are you gonna get rid of anything or are you gonna keep?
I'm looking at getting rid of the 2019 Charger. That's the one that's gonna be replaced, and no information on that Tahoe as of yet. I don't even have a bin for it. Hopefully we'll have that soon. The reason I'm gonna keep the blue ones at 18 is we stuck $8,000 in the transmission. It's a brand new transmission from GM, so it's a known, it's a good running vehicle yet. I took it down to Des Moines 2 weeks ago, runs fine, so being with the transmission redone, we're gonna keep that one and send that 19 down the road.
What the truck that we were gonna lease to Howard County?
They never ended up using that. He was able to get his hand on something else, so that never ever happened.
And we still have that one.
We still have, that's our fully up and spare. It's got everything in it. It's ready to go.
Okay.
So 146,000, but runs good yet. I plan to keep that probably until we can replace it with another truck to be the spare, so.
No, just
Mhm.
thinking. So, all right, any more
Yeah.
questions?
Thanks, everybody.
All right, thank you. Roman, good morning, Roman.
Morning, everybody.
Couple things on the agenda listed, bridge posting resolution 5-11-26-29.
So I think you guys got this in front of you, four bridges on it. Three of them had no postings prior to this. Two of those, that three are now one lane. And the other is one lane with the 28, 40, 40 all vehicles. And then also Bridge 2030 on 160th, which would be east of the diagonal out of Lawler. That one actually took a pretty drastic cut, 28, 40, 40, went to 20, 25, 25. Currently, that's the only one in our 5-year program. The first two would be able to be built with our crews. The last two, definitely not. They're very big bridges. The 2030 one's probably a 240 footer. Currently it's in the CFYP for 2031. Might move it up if we're able. And then 1611, that's a really long, low clearance. That might have to be outhouse design as far as probably a slab. If we did a beam bridge, which we could do a standard for, we'd have to raise grade up 6 feet. So actually the CHPP 2026 notice came out and both 1611 and 2030 are eligible, but 1611 probably won't be submitted because it's got to be standard. But either way, we'll look towards the future for incorporating that into the 5-year program. I will submit 2030 as part of that. Otherwise, we'll still move forward because it's already planned. So I guess you see my recommendations. I recommend that we pass the resolution and we'll get them posted.
So motion for resolution 29.
So,
Through Travis and second by Scott.
You got that, Sheila?
Okay, just look at it quick. Motion by Travis, second by Scott to approve resolution 5-11-26-29. A bridge and structurals of the Chickasaw secondary road system. Postings for 4 bridges. Any discussion?
Oh, yeah.
If not, we'll do a roll call. Travis? Scott?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Isaac?
Aye.
Jake? Aye. Resolution's been adopted. Discuss payment of Chickasaw Cemetery Culvert Project.
So I was coming in to ask for permission on this, but then there was a miscommunication between myself and Joe. Our crews went in and did it. They did it less than the estimate. I talked to Joe and he said he kind of just overlooked that I told him wait for board approval. And he was also thinking with all the guys that we got farming, he didn't know if this week or next week he'd be able to get to it. So last week they had a couple free guys with the dry conditions that we had and we were able to replace the existing pipe and place a new one at a total cost, labor, equipment, material of $4,420.62. The estimate was 59.66. It was asked for access to the cemetery up there with Memorial Day coming up.
In the last 10 years of my time up here, this is the second time that road has been washed out. It's in the Chickasaw Park area. We felt many years ago that it is not Chad's road. He doesn't need that road. It goes back to a cemetery up on top of the hill. The cemetery commission doesn't have the funds to take care of the road either to access their cemetery. So long story short, it came out of county funds. No matter what, the county has to pay for it. This is not a secondary road that Roman is in charge of. So this always comes out of general services to maintain this road. His crews did jump the gun. I don't think myself and Scott were happy, but
I wasn't happy either.
Roman was not happy either. So the bill is $4,420 to be paid back to secondary road fund for this road that goes up to the Chickasaw Cemetery at Chickasaw Park. Any other comments, discussion?
I guess I know it was brought up as far as the hydraulic capacity of it upstream. For the most part, this is a dry run street. Upstream is a 10 by 6 casting or reinforced box, concrete box culvert. You know, that's 60 square feet of opening. Each one of these pipes has about 9.25 roughly. So we'd have to put about 6 in to equate upstream. Granted, it's not a secondary road, public road, well, it is public, but there was talk of maybe throwing in another one. The road overtops a little bit to the south. My guess is just it's getting backed up because the pipe doesn't have a big enough area of opening. We just doubled what it has now. We can see how it handles it. You could always throw an additional pipe in. I know Scott and I and Jake talked in regards to it kind of bends by the road and then goes through the existing culvert location. If that's something the board's interested in doing, we could do it, but again, it's a non-secondary road, so technically by code, we have to be reimbursed.
This will be paid for out of 51 departments. Is there a motion to approve this claim to secondary roads? $4,420.62.
So,
Second.
Motion by Scott, second by Travis, to pay secondary road fund $4,420.62 out of the 51 department, general services. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye. Aye, anybody opposed? Motion is carried. Review quotes for office furniture per county purchase policy.
So I sent this, you guys should all have it. We got quotes technically from 3, but the one supplier, which isn't located in the county, wasn't able to get the right colors and choices and layouts and all that stuff. So we got quotes from Office World as well as Premier FE. You can see where it's highlighted with the low quotes. Office World was the low for 1 desk as well as 10 chairs for our conference room. That total was $53.89. And then for our, I guess, reception and also the administrator desk, as well as the conference table, Premier FE was the low at $12,784.91. So I guess I didn't really have to come in here for the Office World portion, but I thought I'd just bring it all in for you guys since they're kind of a shared quotation. Currently, we got the money in the budget for FY27. You know, we knew this was coming with the new building. We will try to get as much. I mean, we're of course going to take the 2 assistant desks, incorporate that into their office. I'm taking my old desk. It's just with the layout that is currently in there, we can't take all of that. We'll try our best to take, like when you walk in, unless whatever the plans are incorporates that in the future.
There was some at the LEMC building and storage. You guys taking some?
Yeah, one of them. Yep.
Yeah, so they are taking some stuff, I think, from the treasurer's office.
Yep.
That is out there in storage in the garage. So, is there a motion to approve for the purchase policy, the furnitures for the new office, $18,173.91? Is there a second? Scott. Motion by Steve, second by Scott, to approve the quotes for the office furniture per the county purchase policy for secondary roads, $18,173.91. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Department update.
So last week, of course, we had very dry conditions, which everybody that drives a gravel road would know that. We were doing minimal blading, pretty much just, if anything, we were knocking spread rock down or, smoothing it out a little bit. We weren't doing full aggressive blading. We were hauling a lot of spot rock to bad spots, dust control locations, as well as some of our, contract rock that we're hauling ourselves. We did have approximately 210 tons hauled the 120th west of 63. There was some damage to that road, so we got that fixed up. Probably will spread a little bit more this week as time allows, or we're starting to fall into the contract rock time frame where it might just be
Tell the guys they did an excellent job.
Cole did good. He said it wasn't fun to get back to the condition it should have been in, so I'll let the guys know, that's much appreciated. Bridge 1960 replacement project, that's north of Little Turkey. Of course, the entirety of the east abutment is completed. That'd be sheeting, wing, piling, dead men, your normal abutment piling as well. The west abutment is underway. Actually, we just tested bearing on the outer two pile this morning, so that'll be identical to the east as far as number of pile. We're gonna start probably, I would say next week. Hopefully we'll be setting some beams and thinking about pouring a deck. I know that the road or the bridge 2000 west of there on Vanderbilt, the truss is now scheduled for mid-June. So hopefully we're out of our bridge is open by the time that one closes. I don't think it's the biggest deal if it's not, but we're gonna try. Of course, we did the Chickasaw Cemetery project, and then we were doing a lot of shoulder work, whether it was edging or retrieving, as well as Durapatching, Bridge 2770, which is, we got that grant for, and we're gonna be replacing around this time next year as the deck's falling apart. So we Durapatch that as well as B18. I guess we call it the Alma Mile north of 110. Like I said, Contract Rock Division 1 is anticipated to start next week on May 19th. Division 3, which Division 1 is BMC, Division 3 is Bruning. That will be the next day. That all depends on weather and where they're at. But it's good to see they're both going to be coming in sooner than later. As far as the office goes, also Sam, I think I told you guys that Hunter truck we're hoping that we get in this fiscal year. If not, we might have to amend and carry the money being built in May, which we're in now. I don't know if we'll see. He's also got quotes in hand or going to be receiving them for Freightliner Mac and Western Star for a proposed FY27 tandem truck. I'm probably gonna get those to you guys as soon as possible because there's a line that fills up and the longer we wait, the longer it takes. Design and development, we had several projects with utility coordination, whether they're coming this year or coming in subsequent years. Bridge 1300 on 190th. We have the pre-con scheduled for Wednesday. That one I believe is probably going to be a late July start. Bridge 1810 deck overlay project, which would be by the Chickasaw Park. We submitted the concept statement for that. I mentioned Bridge 2000 on Vanderbilt. That's mid-June start date roughly. B22 HMA project, payment 1 was submitted for mobilization. Again, that's mid-July they're planning. The engineer's office building, we submitted payment 1, about $118,000. I don't know if you guys have been out there, but it's moving very fast. Roof is on, windows are in. I believe roof steel is gonna be this week and rough in HVAC and maybe electrical. We did do some work for conservation, dirt work calculated for their proposed building, also made a surface file for that. And then I also came up with an estimate, I guess, I don't know if you guys are talking about
Yeah,
that.
we will in a little bit. Yeah.
My best guess estimated range, I don't know, some of those were high. Just don't want anybody to be surprised. So also reviewing applications for our open position. Currently we have 7 so far. Those are due the 14th at 3 p.m. I guess the week prior, we had blades out all week, but we were also hauling spot rock as well. We had crossroad culvert replacements, more Durapatching, kind of more of the same as far as the engineer's office goes with the projects. But I did generate all the bidding docs for the courthouse window project. That's out of my hands now. I hope until the contract anyways. Summer help apps, those were due on May 1st. We did receive 1 application. We had several people interested, but a lot of them one was 15, one was 16. The 1 application that we did receive, he took a position with a local contractor prior to the deadline, so there won't be any summer help for us this year then. We actually had 1 former employee ask if he could come part-time, and I said, submit whatever you want, but then I think he thought about it, and I don't want to. Said he didn't want to mow. So.
That rate was at $18.
What's that?
Was the rate at $18?
18. I don't know if we need to up that, or if there's just, maybe the interest wasn't there. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on it. I mean, we've tried this before. We used to have summer help and then it kind of died down. We upped the wage and didn't really improve much, so. Which I'm not saying $18 is a lot of money per hour, but it's not bad either for summer help.
Yep. I think Hancock went to $20 an hour.
20?
Is what I would believe I was told, but.
Well, you know, I had a few people, some of the younger ones asking, like, they were interested in the engineering profession, and I said, we get you as much of that as you can, or as we can, but chances are you're still gonna do some maintenance stuff.
Correct.
If I don't have things for you to do in that respect, I'm gonna make sure you're doing something else, but I don't know if that deterred them at all or not.
All right, any questions for Roland? All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Gonna move on into Chad. Good morning, Chad.
Good morning.
Discuss new building at the Twin Ponds Nature Center. We have the bid notice in front of us. You have the general requirements, the site work, the elevation. No concrete this time due to, I'm gonna say we don't have the funds. And I think we want the ground to settle a little bit through a frost cycle.
Sure.
You got cleanup in there, the bid doc for bidding either the building or the earthwork separate or together. And then like Roman said, he did the elevation for the water to run to the east, north and south. Your board did approve this on Tuesday, Chad?
Correct.
It's a 60 by 120, I believe, with 3 overhead doors, 2 walk-in doors. Kind of in that first driveway when you pull into the nature center. At this time, we are not bidding electrical, but we are stubbing conduits through
Yeah, I mean, the electrical is probably the easy one, right? I mean, it'd be nice to maybe get, and again, if we could just get a hold of somebody to run a water line over there, we thought maybe we just put a frost-free hydrant inside the building.
but that is not in the document.
That is not in any of this stuff, no, just.
Bids are due to the auditor's office by.
I just threw that number in there,
Yeah.
that's why it's in red, I have no idea what
June 5th.
what you would think for a time frame there.
Money will be appropriated for July 1st start. If we are using local option sales tax. So either the 12th or the 19th, I would assume. Are you guys gonna take care of the trees that are in the way?
We will definitely try and get as many of them out of there as well, right, get them ground up, yes. Again, it's, you know, it's one of those projects, we wanna go, but yet we were kind of waiting to make sure that funding and everything was free and clear at that point as well, so, and then obviously we're into spring and campgrounds and all that fun that goes with it, so.
Are we gonna keep that deep?
I don't know. So then I'll throw David in here, the county attorney. So we wanted an estimate. We got an estimate Friday from Roman. You guys got an email of that. So the building material is like around 95,000. I'm just doing the top end. Electrical we're not doing, concrete we're not doing, and the dirt work about 50 to 55,000. So that is under our threshold, Dave, of state.
So under anything over 206,000, anything over that number for an estimated cost of public improvement project, which this certainly is a public improvement project, it's a new building. So anything over 206 for an estimate requires public hearing, public bidding, and to go out to the 3 providers that we're doing on this project. Anything over 153, over 153 requires by state law public quotes. We don't have to have a public hearing, we don't have to do all the rest of that stuff, we do have to get quotes, which you guys have already anticipated. Anything below 153 for an estimated cost there's no state rules at all. It's just whatever your internal rules are. So I think we're under that 206 number for an estimate. So as long as we're doing public bidding, which is what you're contemplating, you're satisfying both the state requirement and your requirement, without the concrete. I don't think we're breaking into pieces. There's no contemplation, open, proven correct. You're not gonna come back in this fall and say, hey, now we wanna do the concrete before winter sets in. That's a totally separate project for for a separate budget year and a separate funding source. Separate funds, I should say, not funding source.
I think we might do the water line and electrical, but that is gonna be under
Correct.
20,000,
Yep.
30,000.
Yeah, right, I mean, again, my understanding is we've got 200,000 according to what you guys, approved or whatever, however that works out. So yeah, that's what we have for this next budget cycle, so.
Perfect. So that's the concern, is if we're bringing in pieces, but I don't think there's any contemplation of us coming back later and adding on concrete immediately.
Yeah.
Correct. You guys okay with the date? That gives contractors almost a month.
And again, we can bump that back if I just speculated there. I figured bring them in Friday and you guys would open them that following Monday.
Could like June 12th do or June 19th? Doesn't matter to me. Now that we got some people lined up that wants to see the bid documents, and I think we'll get some bids on this one.
We'll post this one on that first page, obviously in the paper then.
Yeah.
And I would like to say that, just so we're free and clear for transparency issues, one of my board members, Shane Fountain, and he is also sits on the board of Blaza Corporation. So I fully want him to, and I fully anticipate him putting in a bid, or his company putting in a bid on this project. But I'm kind of the middle person out of it, but I just want, to be free and clear that, I think he, again, to make sure it's still legal, but he's I'm anticipating him and his company putting a bid on that project. So everybody knows that he's one of my board members.
And as long as we're less than 206, we don't need to do public, what's the word?
Here.
The higher level of process, put it that way. So we don't need to have a contract prepared, but eventually we'll have that contract with whomever we want to award it to. So I don't know if they'll have a proposed one that they'll send their bid. I don't know if you put that in there or not. I didn't see it.
I know.
Or I can worry about the contract with whomever wins. It's just like we did in the ambulance shop. There's other projects we've done under that number around the county.
Yeah, no, if you would do that, that would be great. I had a copy from Roman, I think off of the building he had done, but I haven't gotten
Either
that.
one of us would work on it.
Yeah, that'd be
Once
great.
the time comes and we figure out who's going to be working on that.
So you guys okay with the time of 10 o'clock a.m. on the 5th day of June?
Yeah.
Or you guys want to move it to the 12th? It's up to you. We got 4 weeks, I think. It's a cold storage building, stick, couple doors. If you're okay with it, is there a motion to publish notice to bidders for Chickasaw County cold storage building at earthwork at 1811 240th Street, Ionia, Iowa?
This would be a public improvement project for which we're soliciting public quotations is the terminology, not public bids. Public bids is the higher threshold. So we're asking for public quotations.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Travis, second by Scott to go out for public quotations. For cold storage building. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed, motion is carried. Discuss Airport Lake water overflow concern, Chad.
Okay, first of all, thank you on that project. We discovered here in the last month or so, we have a leak at Airport Lake in our overflow system. I met with the DNR, DNR engineer and biologist for the area. We think we've got it pinned down to, I believe there is, when that was put in back in '79, there is an 8-inch drawdown structure that goes to a valve that sits in the bottom of that 10-foot vertical shaft. So we believe that valve has failed, or a connection into that 8-inch. So we currently have the downhill side of that overflow structure plugged with like a sewer bladder, or like I don't know what they're called, sewer pigs or whatever, so we have that blown up in there to hold the water back, because we're about 1.5 feet low right now on that facility. So the problem with that is now we've backed that water clear up into a vertical riser, so we can't see exactly what's going on down there on the bottom with that valve structure and stuff. So I've been, like I said, I've talked with the DNR, the engineer, one of the engineers for the DNR. We're kind of working on a plan around what the next step is, so to speak. So I just wanted everybody to be aware of what was going on with
depending on how we fix it, there's two possible ways to fix it. One, you draw the lake down and you fix the structure, right? Which I'm extremely nervous about just because of the revenue and the excitement that's going to cause at our major campground for the season. It doesn't have a very big watershed, so it will take a while to fill that back up. The other option of trying to fill it or to fix it with the lake being full is how do we hold that water back? And if we can build a coffer dam and put some sheet piling in. Again, I've talked with our resident sheet pile driver, does about 50% of the wetlands in the state of Iowa. And that's not cheap to put that stuff in and to take it back out. So that's a rather expensive endeavor there as well. So I just wanted, again, I don't know that I have any numbers or figures for you today, but I wanted to let you know that I have a situation going on that we're working on. And I don't have a good answer. We don't really want to go through the dam if we don't have to. We'd like to fix what's there just because that creates a whole nother set of problems with compaction and leakage and potential washouts down the road. So there's been a lot of different things thrown out, but I don't have anything on paper. So
The neighbor to the west is fully aware of the concern.
I have not reached out to the neighbor to the west. I surely can. I know him fairly well.
You might want to talk to
I think I should. That's a good idea. Just to let you
Steve
know.
Gilbert is the neighbor to the west, and we don't want to flood out his field in the whole process. And
Yeah, right. And again, which is part of the concern with digging into that dam and then being able to hold the water back when it does refill and all this and that. So, but yeah, that's really where I'm at. I don't know if anybody has any questions on that. I don't have any good answers other than I can tell you I've got a big problem and I'm working on trying to fix it.
Well, the insurance company's sitting right next to you.
Yeah, right. So you want me to get caught in there or something? So they're gonna dig it up to come get me out or what? Like,
no.
So yeah.
I didn't hear that.
Right.
I mean, is there any grant money from the DNR or?
So that is one of the big holdups is there is fish habitat stamp grant money out there that I think, talking with the two DNR staff employees that we would be probably eligible for and would rank rather high. The problem with that grant is that cycle isn't due until the end of November. They don't reboot until December, so we wouldn't have any funding until probably January or February. And again, with most all grants, we can't do the work and then submit for reimbursement funding. You gotta have the grant and everything cleared ahead of time. So,
No, thanks for the heads up. We'll see what happens. Let us know.
sure, I will keep working on that and I will let you know if there's anything that comes to head.
The only thing I had over the weekend was that park is owned by the city of New Hampton.
Yep.
Is there anything in there in the lease agreement?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to go back and take a peek on that because it's pretty gray back in there. The only reason I tracked down the 8-inch culverts, I don't even have a I've got a cross section of the dike from 79, but it doesn't actually there's no plan or drawing of this control structure. I just have a receipt or an invoice from the delivery of the pipe. And I'm just putting two and two
I'm
together.
just talking about like the financial. I know you are managing that park for the city of New Hampton for 74 years left of it, I believe,
Something like
roughly. We just make sure we don't alter that agreement with the city if it's their land.
Correct, yeah, I can look at that and reach out and see if there's anything there. And again, it gets a little complicated because we have a dam safety coordinator in the state of Iowa, so that's technically considered a dam in the state of Iowa, so I can't just dig into it.
Correct.
I have to get clearance and permission before we do that as well. So I can pull the file in my office, I'm guessing we have this agreement. So yeah, we're just trying to figure out what the good solution would be there to try and fix that.
All right, if there's nothing else on that, we'll move on to discuss and approve status report of $561 from HLW Engineering Group for
And
the
this,
landfill.
this didn't actually need to be on, but I put it on. Chad normally signs off and then we run it through and it comes through, but I ended up putting it on, so.
Just miscommunication between Sheila and myself, but I will give you a quick update on the landfill. I mean, we did get that approved, and that's been sent in, reached out. We are continuing to draw the leachate down until we get clearance from the DNR, and if we do not hear anything back from the DNR by the end of the month, we're gonna submit another email and just ask them where they're at. So that's kind of the status there.
Is there a motion to approve this landfill bill?
Second.
Motion by Isaac, second by Steve, To approve the landfill bill of HLW Engineering for 561. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye. Anybody opposed? Motion is carried. Anything else for a department update?
Just real quick, I will submit noxious weed notice. I will get that to Sheila if you want to put that on the agenda for next week. Just wanted to talk about that real quickly, then I don't have to come up next week, but it's just status quo. It's for the, per code for the state of Iowa that we need to publish that, put that in the paper in case we have to go onto anybody's property to deal with some noxious weeds that aren't being taken care of. No, really, there's not a whole lot, but spent a lot of time on the last couple of projects. The guys have been doing phenomenal. The parks are open, looking good. The online registration system seems to be doing well. Campground numbers are taking off. Field trip season is wild right now, so, which is good. I mean, I just had a crew out there this morning because Matt's at Fredericksburg doing another program. So it's a great time of year for Twin Ponds Nature Center. Yeah, like I said, the guys have been doing a great job. And then I'll get that weed notice to put on the list. If you don't have any questions on that, do you, Darryl? I mean, it's kind of status quo from the past several years, so I will not be able to make it up next Monday is why I would want to go over that real quickly, so.
Okay,
Sounds good.
Other than that, I will get out of the way.
All right,
Thank you,
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chip.
Yes, sir.
All right, 11:06. Meeting with Judy and.
Mary.
Good morning. Discuss fiscal year 26-27 renewal.
All right, go ahead and let Mary get started and then I'll. Okay, going over your renewal premium, we have, for the most part, we have flat rates on most of the lines. So any of the premium increases should equal any of the exposure changes, exposure changes that were submitted. Couple things that I want to note on the equipment breakdown coverage. The reason that you see such a big percentage change, for a number of years, we've been with Cincinnati Insurance on that line of coverage. They have gotten out of the ability to write that monoline, meaning they have to have other lines of coverage to offer that anymore. And they have been by far the most inexpensive carrier on that traditionally. So it's not finalized, that's what we would expect on the high side for your equipment breakdown. So that's the reason why that one is so much higher. Your EDP is higher, but that's because of the exposure changes. One thing I want to note, your mod factor is going from a 1.02 down to a 98. So that is really good news. You guys are doing a great job with your claims. So you're seeing a decent decrease on your workers' compensation this year.
But then the last year will drop off and then this current year will be on for next year.
Correct.
So you may see an increase next year.
Yes. Yeah. Any questions on that first page?
Do you guys want to go over the ambulance or?
Yeah, we could. What was just to go back to the first page,
Yeah.
EDP equipment, is that our renewal?
Electronic data processing, the EDP equipment.
Computers and.
Yep.
Okay, second page. Yes.
Second page is the Chickasaw EMS. Actually, this one is pretty straightforward as well. Actually, you're seeing a little bit of decrease year over year, your total premium down a little over 1%. So not a huge amount, but any amount is good. Again, the rates are, other than the equipment breakdown coverage, the rates are pretty much flat on that one. So any changes in exposures for either one of those are due to us by the end of this month.
Okay.
So, just kind of in speaking about the work comp, we did, at the last Heartland meeting, the Heartland Board approved a company, CRS works with a company by the name of MedCore. MedCore triages injuries right when they happen. So there's the ability for, if the employee is injured, let's say for instance, Friday at 4:30, no one's around, they've got a number they can call, they call that number, they talk with the nurse, they can say, okay, this is what happened, the nurse can advise, oh, yeah, Advil should be fine, or, ice, that should take care of it. But then, say Saturday comes along and they're still having problems, they have the ability to call that nurse back, and she may say, okay, go ahead and go to urgent care. You don't need to go to the emergency room, but you can go to urgent care. I mean, there's someone there to advise on that. And that's just a question over the weekend. It can happen during the week too. So this is something that is gonna be a county by county basis, however you would like to handle. If you wanna get that, Creative Risk has posters that can be posted in each location at secondary roads, near courthouse, conservation, sheriff's office. So if an injury occurs, they have the ability to get hold of a nurse right away. And so, Creative Risk and MedCore have seen that this has been a benefit, decrease in work comp costs. Example is maybe the person would have went to the emergency room, but then because of MedCore's involvement, they didn't go. Those types of cost savings. So it's something we're gonna get started and implement. So that just kind of goes along with keeping the work comp costs down, along with like the safety committee and that involvement. You guys have had you're on track for your 4 safety committee meetings per year to get the 10% safety savings discount. So you have that figured into your work comp premium, that 10% discount. The other,
So is that something then the board is gonna have to say, this is the procedure, you have to call this med whatever first? Because I know it's been, like standard practice, I think over the years in secondary road, where just go. You know, I think that would be a big change. So like, is that something the board's gonna have to be like, okay, first you have to do this, then you have to do this? Cause like
but we always kind of have to, okay, this guy cuts his finger off. He does not have to call MedCore while his finger's cut off.
Right.
So like it's.
I'm talking about what you said, the example.
Yeah, that example. So I think it's how you want to handle it. So if it's something that you guys wanna try and see, then if there's not compliance with it, or if we see issues, maybe it is something that you have to have a board action on, that would be up to you. But I think it's something that, see how it goes, and then if we're seeing like, oh, well, they're not even paying attention to it, but part of it is being aware that it is available, so.
Yeah, I just think I could take it in the safety meeting, take it.
Yeah,
And be like, explain it better.
Right, yeah, and we'll get you information on it, I can send you the information on MedCore so that you have that, so.
And they'll start the claim, correct?
Yes, and so that is the other thing. So if they report it to MedCore, then MedCore takes the information and they actually submit the claim to Creative Risk. So then
you don't have to do it now.
yes, so right, so then you wouldn't have to do it. So that is, that's a benefit that I think all the counties will see and enjoy. That's something that, you don't have to be responsible, for that. And it gets set up right away. So we're hoping that this will, help with, and as, you guys have had a, good year, previous good years with work comp, but to see as this goes forward to help with the work comp costs overall for all Heartland counties. So we're hoping that'll be beneficial. The other thing, I think the rates, we kind of before talked about the rates, where we did the rate study back in 2023. There hadn't been any changes in rates for the Heartland counties for at least 15 years prior to that. We did a rate study in 2023. Those rate studies, that was adopted by Heartland for the 24-25 policy year. So now we're 3 years out from that rate study. They're gonna have another rate study done this year. And then that'll be presented by the actuary in October. And then again, Heartland will be able to decide if they wanna, looking at their rates, if they wanna implement that. So could be some difference next year, but you'll be aware of that after the October meeting, so. The only other things I just talk about, we talked about Troy, so he had his first visit to do the assessments. Now he'll have his second and third visits to do, training and then any follow-up. It has been offered that third visit, if you would choose to have a mock OSHA visit instead of having him come out and do, follow up on what he'd already done in the first 2 visits, that is an option. So that's something that you can decide on, or if you want to have that visit and then add the mock OSHA visit, that can be done for a cost that Holmes Murphy's gonna be working on what that would be. So I guess kind of be thinking about that,
But we could use the third visit for the mock.
You
so we
can.
have to pay.
Yes.
Yeah, because we don't have anything to go over on the assessment.
Yeah, so,
Like ours was really good, so we're gonna do training the second one. So like I've been in touch with him on like how we're gonna do our trainings.
what you're gonna do, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be, so if that's something, just let me know, and then we can let, Troy know that they can do that mock visit for the third, so,
And it will be a different person than Troy.
Good,
yeah.
yeah,
Yes,
that's
so
what we
then
need.
so it's somebody coming in blind that doesn't know where.
So, and they'll come in if they won't be announced, they'll just come in, so if you guys wanna do that, just let us know.
That would be a good example.
Yeah, so that can be for the third visit of this. The other thing, just talking about trainings, the harassment prevention training, this year Brent Henders is going to be doing that. The in-person trainings, his firm, Brent was with Hopkins and Hebner, he has his own firm now, so he'll be doing those trainings and I'll help coordinate that with his firm, I'll get that set up I'll contact you guys, see, what day works and the times on that. And then also the KPA is approved too, so Brent Henders and KPA are the approved harassment prevention training methods.
Will
And
Run be in every county for like 2 sessions or?
you're available for 2 sessions, so, whatever works.
Ours is normally in,
In the morning.
We'll just,
we usually have one at the secondary roads and.
so I can just, coordinate that with you, and we'll get that set up. And then, the only other 2 things I wanted to tell you about is the employment practices, or the fall seminar is set for, September 10th at the Reining Center in Toledo. This year, we're going to have, the gal that did the generations in the workplace, she's going to come and do a presentation. And then, Mary and Veronica attended the Genesis, conference, and they met an individual, I'll let you.
Yeah. So we met the risk manager for Laramie County, Colorado, and he does a number of presentations to different organizations and other counties. And one of them in particular that he has done is on work comp and ways of potential reduction of your mod. Actually, I mean, he can pretty much create whatever the counties or Heartland decides they want to do. He is willing to do that free of charge. Holmes Murphy will pay for his transportation. But the presentation itself he's not gonna charge for that, but Holmes Murphy will pick up the cost for that.
So we're thinking, risk management, ergonomics, those types of topics, and just to focus on the reduction of work comp costs. So, and then we'll have Troy will do a presentation, and then we'll have Brent Henders there too, he'll be there for, probably he'll give, update on legislation and just any questions that you may have in general, he'll be there for that, so. So hopefully everyone's invited, so whoever can make it, that would be great. And then the other, we're gonna have, and we are having this on the election years, the newly elected officials seminar, and that is set for November 13th at the Reineck Center also in Toledo. So, and that'll be, Brent Henders will be presenting at that. And again, he'll be going over open meetings and then just whatever else that he thinks hopefully they'll be approved for ITID to give that training that they gave last year. And then just any other helpful things for new elected officials coming in and even elected officials who have been in office. So that's what we have set.
What day was that on?
That is gonna be November 13th. So
Okay.
for your newly elected, so it'll be before they take office, but for them to be there and get the some training and be.
So just a question on that, just my personal opinion probably. If the county pays for their travel expense and not sworn into office yet, can we actually pay those people to attend?
So I don't think, like, we did
It's a
this,
question.
yeah, well, we did this 2 years ago, and I don't know what the other counties did.
Yeah.
Because we did have several, I don't know, we had several people who did attend
Yeah.
from other counties, and I'm not sure what the counties did as far as.
I'm just wondering if those dates should be like in January after they take office,
Well,
and you have 90 days to get that certificate done.
yeah, that's true,
I'm
yeah,
just wondering why we're doing it so short to the election. Just an outside looking in, because they're not sworn into office yet, they're not really a county official, they won the vote, yes.
yeah,
But
and
they
I
don't take office until January, so.
right, and then I think what the discussion with Heartland had been is have that so that they're ready and prepared when they come into office, so that was where that
No, I
came
get it,
from.
I just.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's a free training?
Yes, yep,
Will there be a virtual option for that?
um,
I guess my question is, I see it in my association now. We used to have probably 90-10 in person, and now we are getting so many, which is a good thing. Hour here, 2 hours there, virtual trainings throughout the year on all these different topics.
Mhm.
As opposed to having to travel to cut down on costs and expenses.
Sure,
I just didn't know if that was something you guys were looking into, making some of those events even a hybrid, where folks that are near Tama County could drive over for the day, but folks like us that are gonna build a county at 60 cents a mile and get paid $200 to drive down there and back and lunch and everything else.
That would be nice.
I just feel like some of those things are happening. You
Well, and
guys have talked about it or
yeah,
discussed it. but-
we can certainly
Yeah.
look into that, and especially with it being at the Reineck Center now, I think before when it was being held at Conservation, I don't know that they're,
Technological
yeah,
capabilities.
what,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know.
It wasn't, so,
But I'd be much more apt to be in my office and log on for an hour or two and get my training done.
okay,
Than I would be to take a whole day off from county.
sure, yeah, we can certainly, yeah. No, but I know before that, out of when we had, that was, yeah, we had a hard time even getting anything.
Just food for thought.
So, I think that's all I had, so.
I think myself and Scott or whatever, we need to figure this, insurance out with vendors and,
Oh, yes.
so I think since you were here, and that's why Renee is here too, because we've had some small vendors. Hate to use the word threaten, but they don't wanna go up to that $2 million coverage.
Kind of what I explained the other Thursday meeting was,
What's other counties doing about these small vendors that deliver paper, or Culligan comes in with a bottle of water once a month or once a week? They're still coming into our property, and if they slip and fall or do work for us, we're trying to protect ourselves too.
Right, I
Is the
have
bottom
a
line.
question, like for vendors like that, on your contract, so if they slip and fall, your contract should say you're responsible for your injuries, so the injuries to themselves, with a waiver of subrogation saying we're not going to come back to the county for that
Gotcha.
injury. The bigger problem is if they, and that we've seen, and not necessarily in Heartland, but they set a box down, they set a bottle down, somebody walks by, they trip over it, they break a hip, they do something, and if they don't have the coverage, they're gonna come to the county. So, I mean, it's completely a business
And we don't have
decision.
contracts with any of those people like that.
No. They just drop off and leave most of the time.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's of the mindset, it's a small community, you know, we're gonna drive away all these small people who are so good to us and end up paying more from people from further away and whatnot, but I don't see how we do all these individualized exceptions, this, that, and the other, you know, and there's only like a few. You know, and when I talked to my insurance company down here, the local one here, and they said the $2 million umbrella is not out of the ordinary. It's just people are used to, and plus Chickasaw County doesn't have zoning? So there's nobody, like in Bremer County, you know, there's zoning, so all those people have, you know, they have to follow the rules. So I don't know how you.
So question, I mean, for any small commercial, I mean, 2 million is pretty, if they have 1 million on their auto and general liability and a 1 million umbrella, it's very unusual for people not to carry that amount.
There were several. When we started this, the folder had, I think, a total of 3 maybe in the folder that we had on file. And they didn't have hardly. Yeah. Now we have a very large file and a lot of them are at the 2 million. And some of them that didn't want to get it, they're fine with not doing business with it. They honestly didn't want to anyway. You know, they accidentally got like the low bid and they were like, we're good, we don't need to come back. You know, and the one guy was like, if I get a quote for something in secondary roads, then I'll raise it up. Or if I get a project, but otherwise I'm just gonna leave it. Yeah.
Any more you've talked to, Scott?
Just kind of what I went through with these guys on Thursday at our meeting was more or less like our office supply type things and the deliveries versus the possibility of them maybe setting up a desk in an office, which kind of goes back to tripping over the box or whatever. And I mean, I don't, you know, I think Veronica was the one that gave the example of somebody was there to do some very minor work, but ran a ladder or something into some electrical and start a fire. And, you know, that's the thing we're looking at is, you know, yeah, you might not need a lot of insurance to deliver a box of paper, but if you run your truck through the wall making the delivery, that's a different thing.
I mean, your insurance is gonna cover you, but the whole point is not, I mean, if you're not negligent for it, you don't really want your insurance to pay for it, but it is completely up to you, it's just recommendations.
So do you think we gotta revisit that again the third time, or just leave that 2 million and I guess if we lose local businesses that don't wanna up it to $2 million, I mean, I got 2 million on my, what I do. I don't know how this is a huge cost.
And I understand that, like the small local businesses, it's just been the way of the courthouse to always get the local ones, but we all have budgets that we need to be looking at and finding other ways to save, so.
Are we done with this issue? Or are we gonna?
I mean, I see your business, I mean, somebody says I don't have the coverage, what do you say? Oh, okay, fine.
Absolutely not.
I mean, that's what I mean, it's like, it's not an uncommon thing.
I think it's the times of doing business, and it's just protecting our assets too for the county.
So if we had vendors that were squawk besides.
We have, I'm not gonna name them, I think that would be
Vendors we do not have contracts with.
vendors that do business for us that will not up it to $2 million.
And correct, we don't
That
have
are what I
contracts.
consider, like Renee said, like passive vendors, as in they come in here to drop things off and don't have an actual like bidding contract thing.
Correct.
Or like ongoing vendors.
We don't have contracts with any of them that
Right.
come in here and do that.
This is just their suggestion.
Yeah.
You're smiling. Sorry, I didn't know. Is that how we're characterizing it or not? I mean,
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct,
And we can lower it too, it's just, but if that day ever happens, they're gonna come back in the county.
Oh, yeah, we'd always have the opportunity to file suit against them and or their insurance. I mean, whether that sticks and what process that takes and how long that takes and the amount of money we spend is
Correct.
totally unknown variables. But it's not like we're locked out from pursuing other avenues just because we don't have that. I mean, if
Actually,
UPS dropped up a thing and backed into our vehicle, I guarantee you, they're either gonna cover it or we're gonna sue them. I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a secret, right? I mean.
Right. The only point is that, you can sue them, but if they don't have the,
Coverage.
they don't have the
Sure.
coverage and they don't have the money themselves.
Correct.
It's not gonna do you much good to sue.
So if you have a certificate of insurance with the coverage on it, you're good to go.
And it protects them too, right? I mean,
So what are you gonna do? Because this has been a killer for me.
I thought we had a consensus that we lowered it.
we did lower it.
We did lower
from 4 to
once before.
And now we still got,
And 4
Three.
was like astronomical for a lot of people.
yeah,
Like I say, I talked to mine just to research a little bit, and everyone was like 2 is very, very standard.
Yeah, we'll leave it at 2.
leave it at 2.
Yeah. We got a consensus for that.
Yep.
So,
I'm with you. Any other questions for Judy or Mary?
Oh, thank you so much.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
So, is it like, I don't want to use names, but is it vendors or contracts?
I say more vendors that supply us stuff.
Okay. I'm not gonna go too.
Yeah, and these are your small vendors.
Okay.
1 or 2 shop person.
Okay.
Yep. All right, thank you guys.
You
Appreciate it.
bet.
thanks.
Maybe supposed to give Kristen or Lori a call or whatever.
Yes, I will.
I would love to know.
All right.
We'll see you guys later.
See ya. I got text in today's morning, but we can do that additional one. Discuss and approve contract to provide professional consulting services to Chickasaw County with Cost Advisory Services, Inc. for the proposed 3-year contract not to exceed $4,450 for each annual cost allocation plan. This is the vendor that comes in and does our cost analysis for DHS that rents a building space from us at the Heritage Center. They do this every year. This is a 3-year contract for this vendor.
And the fees did not go up.
So when they do this for us, I believe we get about $20,000 to $24,000 from DHS every year to rent that one office slot. So it is needed for DHS. Is there a motion to approve?
No move. Second.
Motion by Isaac, second by Steve, to approve a 3-year contract with Cost Advisory Services, Inc. for a 3-year at $4,450 not to exceed per year. County's had these guys, we've had these guys for over 10 years. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye, anybody opposed, motion is carried. Does the committee assignments, anybody have committee assignments last week or? Steve, Isaac?
Harlan did, and Judy pretty much updated you on the majority of what we discussed at the meeting, but, one interesting thing I thought, and I don't know if on my papers, that we discussed was, throughout the years since Heartland had started back in the 80s, when we have a property loss or whatever, we do a deductible, they typically just take that $1,000 deductible off what they reimburse us for. But on the public officials and law enforcement side, they found that a lot of those deductibles were never paid. And they were wanting to know if they could go back clear through the 80s to each county and pick up $1,000 for each one of those claims. And of course, the board shot that right down. But other than that, Judy pretty much updated everything else that we did on the meeting on Thursday, so.
Was there a motion, those guys, I think you told me, was there a motion to move forward with that?
There was not, it was shut down and it was brought up, but there was never a motion either for, there are currently 7 open claims of that type right now in this fiscal year. And that was also no motion to move forward with that. They will, because it's always been policy to collect that. Starting July 1st in the new fiscal year for our started, it will start, and it will be collected at that point, but.
So those are like any litigations or any
Yeah.
workers?
Yeah, what had happened was, if there was a claim filed, attorney bills were coming into Heartland, they were getting paid, but nobody was ever following up with the county that,
It's all not deductible.
where, when you have property damage, obviously we're always on top of that.
Does it sound like they're hurting money or what? Or just a question?
This has been an ongoing 3-year process of just kind of going back and trying to straighten
Clean
things
up
up,
stuff?
update things that.
Just a question. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, go up to Dave Gorman. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning.
Got a couple things on here, just need some board discussion on. We'll discuss the power washing bids for the courthouse. You do have 2 of them that were submitted to us. Did the third one never show up?
Never did.
So
Let me check. He was gonna text it to my phone if he did. Let me check.
So we do have 2 bids, quotes, with Sheila. You guys saw those? One for $9,187.20 and one for $7,000. The $7,000 one is kind of interesting. They were gonna use a drone, Dave.
Correct.
Yeah, so
We had our field sprayed.
Yeah, one of the bidders.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, he has a power washing drone.
Yeah.
I guess he bought it with the intent of power washing, water towers and stuff for cities and stuff like that, which would be a good idea. But he was, interested in doing this job, so I said, put in your bid.
I think it'll work.
I think it worked
You
great.
have to run the equipment, you just fill it up, the tank, and he puts some kind of cleaning detergent with it. He's done buildings like this before. He's out of Evansdale.
So yeah, I do not have another bid on my phone, so
So
apparently
if you see a guy sitting in a chair and playing with a toggle switch, it's just, he's washing the building.
I'm sure you'll see it outside the window.
Yeah, so I think Dave done his job. We get 2 of them. It's up to you guys if you wanna power wash the courthouse before the windows go in.
I'll make a motion to accept Long Pressure Washing LLC estimate for $7,000.
What's the company called? DeLong.
Long.
Pressure washing.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you.
Motion by Travis, second by Steve. To accept the quote for $7,000 to DeLong Pressure Washer LLC for $7,000. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, anybody opposed, motion carried. Discuss the custodian's blue truck. I'm not pushing this on the agenda, but I asked Dave if it was time to advertise. I did get an email from Chad that the new truck is built. He's supposed to be getting it within a week or 2. We have a 2005 Chevy half-ton four-wheel drive with 232,000 miles on it. Dave put, it's rusty, but it still runs good.
It still rolls down the road.
Didn't know if you guys wanna just do this one local, newspaper, website, bulletin board. I would say Dave's replacement, the brown one that's at County Conservation, will probably be here in the next 4 to 5 weeks for sure. If you guys wanna wait, we can. Just trying to get something typed up to get out for selling it. Dave does have the 3/4 ton white one too, as a backup if he needs it.
Right.
down at the Heritage Center that sits there.
Mhm.
Mainly was bought for snow removal.
And pulling the election trailer.
Yes. So there's a backup truck that he can have if the brown one's not quite ready yet. But any ideas of selling the 2005 Chevy half-ton? It's done good for the county. It started off, I think, in environmental agency, and then it got moved to custodian.
Yeah, and actually, like I said, it starts every day, runs okay. I mean, obviously 232,000, it is what it is, but still works.
Where did it
Environmental health.
start? Okay.
I think Mr. Raising had it first,
Yes, he did.
many years ago, 2005.
Not gonna be a ton of value to it, I think,
No.
just advertise it local.
That's where I'm at too.
I agree.
Yeah, bids due back, June 12th. June 5th. Is that good enough? 3-4 weeks.
So June 5th and 12th.
12th.
Okay.
Bids due back by June 12th. Is that a motion by one of you?
Yeah.
Travis, is there a second?
Second,
Motion by Travis, second by Steve, to advertise the sale of 2005 Chevy half-ton four-wheel drive pickup truck. Bids due back by June 12th as a sealed bid. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed, motion carried. Discuss Memorial Day Veterans Program in the courthouse grounds. Dave, you visit with some people, is the same thing?
Yes, I visited with Brian Quirk, same program as last year, and after the program, hot dogs and brats out by the curb there. He stated to me that he contacted his insurance and they were going to send proof up here. So I think we're clear on all the details of that, so.
Per the county policy, is there a motion to accept them to use the county grounds? Is there a second?
sorry,
Motion by Isaac, second by Scott, to allow the veteran program on the county courthouse on May 25th. You keep that first floor open for the bathrooms.
Yep.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, motion is carried. Discuss the RFP for the courthouse window project. I don't know what day it was. Me and Dave, county attorney got some involvement. One of our vendors that was up here to give us a presentation didn't have the number of crankouts. So Dave last week drew another Exhibit C. Exhibit C now has all the windows shown, highlighted where the crankouts are currently at. So just FYI that there's an Exhibit C now that is going out to all these vendors that requested. I know Sheila has like 2 other ones that requested the documents. I think we're up to 4 now, statewide, so. We are looking for wood windows, aluminum clad windows that's in the specs. So we will make the determination when they come in on the 26th. Anything else on the windows, Dave?
I think that was it.
So the person that came up here that was, helped us put this together, did he get an Exhibit C then? Because I emailed 2 of the people that you asked me to email them.
Okay, the two that I asked you to email them to were the first guy that showed up and the second.
CR Glass and.
Alan.
Yeah, but I
No,
did,
the other ones, I don't know who they are.
oh, but I did not send them an Exhibit C though. I was gonna ask.
Oh,
you.
yeah, they both need,
Okay.
yep, they both need that, yes.
All right, anything else on the windows? Just an update, kind of.
I guess the one thing that I had question I had to ask the board, if we get bids for aluminum interior windows or wood, are we strictly gonna go off of price, or are we gonna go try to think longevity into this, or what are we gonna do?
All that above needs to be decided to see where the prices are.
Cause I
I
know
want
I
you guys to go tour the new engineer's office. Those are example Pella windows, with the blinds in it with cranks. I believe that's a wood finish. Does not look like wood to me, but check it out before we have that final discussion on the 26th.
and then on the 26th, are we going to ask that the
They
bidding
present.
people come up here and give a presentation? So
I think so. This is a huge project.
I think so too, because I'm like you. I don't know that much about windows, and it would be good to have the people here to answer questions, because otherwise I'll get questions that I know I won't have answers to.
Did we put that in the bid documents, so they're required to be here for that, or how are we gonna communicate that to them? If that's what you're gonna require, or you're just gonna ask that they be here?
I think we're gonna ask them to be here.
I think
It's not in the documents, no.
But I,
Highly suggested they.
Highly suggested to be here.
That would be a good way to put
We
it.
put in the document now and we've only had 4 people reach out from last week.
so I guess my question is, what are they gonna? We have to be careful, because we don't want them to present information that's not part of their bid.
Correct.
So what is it you want them here for? To show you what the window's gonna look like, or what?
I think
guess I'm
show-
asking,
show-
what purpose
show.
are they gonna be here?
Yep. Show the windows that they bid, the type,
Okay,
because every manufacturer has a different type of window. Or not.
no, I'm fine with that, I just don't want us to get into a situation where we're getting additional or more information from them outside of what they gave us in writing for their bid. Because then we allow them essentially to modify their bid that morning as they're sitting here to say, oh, we're gonna put extra coat of glass on this, or, you know, and I just,
Yeah.
my mind's thinking of all the different things that could happen if we have 3 vendors all want a $750,000 project sitting here, and all of them are willing to sweeten the pot or somehow change things. Or make it sound like they put their salesman hat on, but we don't need the sales pitch because we already have the paper sales pitch, that's what we're supposed to go off of. We're going off of the most responsible bidder, and you can differentiate between aluminum and finishes where you do, but it needs to be based on what they submitted in writing.
Or would it be good to just have each vendor on the speakerphone to answer any board questions?
Yeah, I think that's appropriate. The other thing is you could ask them, if you know who put in the bid, if someone submits a bid, you can say, hey, is it possible for you to either send us a picture, or like that guy was willing to do, drop off an example of what it looks like, so we can actually see it, and touch and feel it, as opposed to just being on a PDF in a color photo. Maybe that's something you can ask for.
Yeah, a little cutout sample.
I'm just nervous they're gonna go into sales mode. And we don't want that.
No, we do not.
Or I don't want that, maybe you do.
No, we don't.
We just want description.
Right, exactly.
What it looks like, yes.
Salesman going to salesman?
Yeah.
All right, if there's nothing else with that, discuss electrical panels at the courthouse. So last Tuesday, I believe Chuck was here with his team to pull in the new wire from the basement panel, main panel, to the machine room. There's a junction box in the machine room that the wires are hanging out right now, waiting on the inspector to give, how would you say it, Dave? Next
Okay to
direction.
move forward?
There you go. I was here for about 2 hours just looking at how the process was working that night. They struggled to pull the wire out. There was, quote, some splices inside the conduit that were not ever supposed to be in that conduit. I got pictures that showed, if you guys know what wire is, where there's a splice like this with a connector all taped up that was actually inside those conduits. It's illegal to have splices in a conduit. So they fought for about 2-3 hours trying to pull that wire out. Even they had to go into both of the attic boxes to pull both directions and break that splice apart. And that's what they did to get it out. So the new wire's in. Waiting on the state of Iowa inspector to come and give direction of what's next. So that was supposed to happen Friday. As of right now, it has not happened today yet. Chuck has been very transparent between Dave Gorman, myself, and Denny on when the next power outage is gonna be. But right now it's temporarily hooked up in the existing panel boards. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about where we're at. Kind of in the wait mode now, so.
Yeah, and Denny's on the wait mode too to start installing the new servers. We need that isolated ground in that machine room before we put any new servers in.
Mhm.
And unspliced connectors from point A to point B. And then speaking with him too, and I was hoping that we could have an update with Chuck, but when they were up there doing the chiller, they found some bare coppers in those conduits too that was feeding the chiller.
Oh.
So, but we can get that from Chuck himself, but some of those things have to be changed and updated. Lucky the courthouse has not burned down yet. So we're doing our best to upgrade some of this stuff once we know of the problems. So anyway, that's all I have. Dave, do you have anything else in the electrical panels?
No, you covered pretty much everything there, so.
Any department update?
No, I think we're just moving forward with the springtime lawn care jobs, and everything's going well, so.
I know we don't have claims on here, but I think the department update for claims next week is there was a boiler bill that was emailed to somebody.
Two bills.
Two
that
bills.
They were emailing to the auditor's office and they must have left a K out of the Chickasaw or something. And so it wasn't coming to me. And then they sent me the bills last week. So these are bills that were created in January. And they're just going through claims next week.
Right, yeah. I don't know where the.
Yep.
We got it
the
fixed with the email address, but they were using, when it got entered in, it obviously
Right,
went
right.
wrong.
And this is work that Dave got done, so thank you for getting the boilers working. But this was not part of our re-estimate number, and I think the bills are over $10,000.
What were they?
I think the total for all the bill, there was the bill for the sheriff's office, one for here and one for Heritage, I believe.
Yeah.
So between all three, it amounted to about 10,000.
So,
but I think maybe 4,000-ish was out to the Heritage, and then the other two were between here and the sheriff's office, and that was addressing some issues with piping and clean outs on the boilers and stuff like that that had never been done that they recommended. Just promotes longevity to the boiler system, so that's why we did it.
So anyway, like I said, hopefully our budget amendment goes through next week because I think we might need it. This is stuff that
Especially
we
on the
don't.
Heritage. Yeah, it's a big enough number, it's a decision maker,
Yeah.
And just to update the board too, the reason that there's been so many bills down at the Heritage is that we have just been updating things that were neglected for a long time down there. I see next year, the July 1st to July 1st being a lot less repairs down there than we've had now. We just addressed a lot of things that were let go for a long time, so. I think heating wise, air conditioning wise, knock on wood, I think we've got everything fixed up and updated to where it should run reliably for quite a while, so.
Yeah. Just pass it along as a department update. We're getting there to June, so.
And when you get a technician in here that works specifically on that stuff, it's pretty high dollar amount per hour, so.
No, I don't think anybody was, saying anything about, addressing what the buildings needed. It was just that I didn't get the bill tonight.
Well,
And when it happens, you like that bill right away so you can make your decisions to go forward.
right.
No, I'm totally happy that you're updating. I think that looks great.
Well, I just wanted to bring the board up to speed on why those bills were the amounts that they were. I mean, it's not that it's astronomical, but it's a larger amount, so.
Anything else? If not, thank you, Dave.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good day. What else we got? Any more committee assignments? I think we went that. Discuss future agenda items. Denny has requested to be on here to discuss the dark fiber connecting all the buildings together. We'll have that discussion, I guess. Budget amendment number 4 is on. Public hearing. Anything else you guys need added?
I will not be here.
You will not be here.
I'll get the resolution over from Sheila right now, I'll have it ready for them.
Donna will be here then, or somebody? Donna. Okay, claims next week, so.
And the 18th is enrollment. What's her name,
Denise.
Denise will be here for open enrollment if anybody wants to hit those meetings.
All right, sounds good. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion by Travis, second by Isaac to adjourn at 11:54. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carried.